Out of storage. What the hell does that mean? Out of storage. Hello. 8:42 Central Time, United States of America. Mr. Pliskin, snaky yellow. Now, Brandon Trueblood was supposed to do a stream at 8 o'clock. I think he fell asleep. We'll have to check it with him later. Good Mother is doing a stream right now. Pop's doing one on his other alternative platforms. And we're going to do just something, just warm the cackles of your heart. Turning Point USA. Christmas is in the air in the United Kingdom. Now, sure, they might be crazy fembots here, but you know, they're English, so they're friendly about it.
Prisons, the issue of prisons as well.
Yes.
Biological men going into female prisons.
Yes.
But they're no longer biological men.
I see. They're not biological men. All right. Okay.
Longer biological men. Okay, fine.
Women.
They're women.
Even if they haven't transitioned, they're still women.
They're still
All
women.
I have to do is just wave the magic wand. Yeah, hamster, you're going to get put in prison for 10 years. I'm a woman. Oh, boom. There you go. No, it's perfect. It doesn't have to make any sense. Why would we care about that?
Women.
Like,
Yeah.
if they're transgender and they haven't transitioned medically,
Yeah.
they're still.
So they still have they would still have a penis, wouldn't they? Mm-hmm.
Women.
So would you have said in this instance, feelings trump facts? Would you have, if someone was to say to you, what about biology, and they play that card, would you have said, no, what matters is what someone's feeling rather than actual?
I certainly do love the t-shirt. Ho, ho, ho. Now I have a machine gun.
Fact, like biological.
Where the
science.
heck is this? The University of...
Yeah, I think
it's somewhere in England.
to some degree, because human emotions are incredibly complex, and the idea of identity is incredibly complex.
Yeah.
I guess, biology really is too, though. Have you given that much thought? Have you had your intro to, science or anything?
And I think takes precedent over just facts on a paper, I think. And,
Sure.
Debating scientific facts.
We're here at Sussex University today. Made a special effort to come down to what is called one of the wokiest universities that we've got.
University of Sussex in England.
We're here to see just what's happened with our institutions. We're going to be interviewing students to find out just how woke they are, the specific topics to do with gender and with transgender.
Their minds are so open, their brains fall out. XYZCT. Hola. Hello, Gabe. Did True Blood fall asleep? I guess so. Alec is in the building as well. All right, let's do some more woke nonsense. Isn't it fun? We missed it over Christmas because Hamster was pretty much drunk the whole time.
You can see I'm in my Christmas jumper. We're ready to rock and roll. Let's find out just how mental they are. Are there more than two genders? Let's start off with that.
Of course.
Yeah.
There are more than two genders?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, you see, you know what's even more interesting is everyone has their own personality. Do you think maybe their gender expression is more of a personality? No. Of course not. See this, well, we don't want to misgender this person here. All that dye's gotten into her brain and done sucked out any intelligence she might have had at some point.
Of course. Love it. The conviction. I love it. So help me out here. What are they? Can we talk about them? Can we name them?
Yes.
There's obviously the binary male, if you want that. And then there's some people that are non-binary. And then
So we know about the two binary.
yeah, and then non-binary, there's some people might be gender fluid.
So I do digital electronics where everything is binary. So maybe I'll go to work tomorrow and say, excuse me, hey, don't you misgender binary, mister. There's more than two things in the binary. You got to do base 3 now. Really? Come on.
There's agender.
Gender fluid, agender. What's agender?
It's where you're outside of gender, so
You don't even have a gender. Oh.
don't really identify with any gender, and it's just some days you feel like you.
Oh, sorry, agender. Oh, I see. Okay.
Well, wait a minute. If you identify as a gender, you wouldn't be agender then. None of this has to make sense. Don't worry about it.
What does that look like then? Oh, wow. So in practical application in life, just in general, what does that look like?
I don't anything. It can be whatever you want. Like, I don't think gender needs to have a specific look. If you want to identify a certain way, then identify a certain way, as long as
it's your personality. Move on. So you don't have to change the world because you have a different personality. Oh my God.
like I'm going to be respectful of you no matter how you look.
But would you support kids transitioning?
Yeah, especially because most puberty blockers are reversible. So if
Which is a lie, but go ahead.
they do change their mind, there's no actual harm to the person's body. Obviously,
Well, why don't we make them wait till they're 18 when they're adults to do it? No. We make them wait till they're 18 to legally drink and smoke and all kinds of things, right? Yeah, you can also quit drinking and quit smoking and have less of an impact on your life than this other stuff.
I think surgery-wise, that should be something discussed at a later age, but transitioning socially, there's no issue with it.
Why would you have to do anything? You wouldn't, would you?
And
Transitioning socially being not actual surgery, but in terms of gender fluidity.
Yeah, and just like changing your name, changing your pronouns, like whatever that may be to a person.
Now, let's talk about pronouns here for a moment, if we could. The pronoun thing. These folks, is that okay to say? They get all wigged out about pronouns. Now, really, if say you're hanging out with a person, say they're a transgender or whatever, they are what they are, and that person's name is, say, John. When would you ever use John's pronouns if he's there? If John is right there with you. I mean, normally if you're hanging out with another person, one would think, what would you need a pronoun for? Really? It's like, this is my friend John. Hey, John, how's it going? Well, what's new with you? Or is you now illegal? Is that... I mean, it's really an odd construct. It's really not that hard to refer to someone with their full name, John or Mary or Jane. So why do these folks get all wiggied out about pronouns when many times you'd be using a pronoun when they're not even there? Yeah, or not even do that. Yeah, John had to go and John had to do John's homework. It's not really that hard, is it? But there's something about the goddamn pronouns, ain't it?
And I think at whatever age, as long
We
as
get to experiment with fashion, we get to experiment with sexuality. Why can't we experiment with what gender we are?
Well, dressing up with different fashion and a little bit different than getting blockers for your freaking puberty. See, these people, and I've been saying this for a long time, this is nothing more than the goth or the what was the other black outfits they used to wear back? Was it a goth? Same thing. Well, you can just change your outfit and be a different person. No, nobody says you can't. What's your problem? Oh, well, but we want to get the puberty. Why? If it's merely just expressing yourself differently, why would you be in favor of having that?
So fashion, I've heard this before, it's quite interesting. So fashion and other such social norms and values isn't the same as the gender. There's a slightly higher step up, I would have said. Would you have said that? Would you agree it's the same? Like what drink I choose to drink in a pub isn't the same as whether I should become a different gender.
But at the same time, it should be just accepted to that level. It's like, oh, they've decided that they want to be male today. Well,
okay,
that's their choice.
What line do we draw with regards to children? So can a 6-year-old decide that it's the wrong gender?
I mean,
once they can talk, once they can communicate, obviously.
I mean, 6-year-olds have some of the best ideas in the world. If you've ever had a conversation with a 6-year-old, it's the most amazing.
The idea and concept of gender isn't like 6-year-olds are able to grasp that concept, and if they are able to say something's wrong with how I am choosing to be presented, like 6-year-olds aren't stupid. And I think it's like
they're not stupid, but they're young. They don't even have a concept yet of what you're even talking about. How many 6-year-old kids wanted to be a dinosaur or Batman at some point? Right? And so what happens? Well, you get them a Batman costume at Halloween and they forget about it.
You know,
You get labeled with terms such as tomboys as kids. Why
Yeah.
can't
What's
it
wrong with
just be
that?
More expressed. Actually, I think I feel
What's wrong
more
with tomboys? They were always the most fun chicks to hang out with.
like a boy.
Mm.
Because
Rather
there's
than-
no way for anyone to define how I feel as a female may be different from how Alara feels.
Mm.
yeah.
So it could be just dependent on the person.
So you
see any-
you want to turn the entire world upside down for this? For this.
Negative consequences, negative ramifications.
Let's see how that goes.
Do you see any, as a liberal checkpoint, do you see any consequences of this line that we're going down? Just in terms of a checkpoint, guys, I've heard what you said, but do you see any, there's always good and bad to things. Do you see any negative consequences, outcomes?
I think one negative is some people may see it as a bit of a trend and they may just I don't want to like what's the word?
You don't want
It was like wearing black clothes in the 90s. Dyeing your hair black. Wearing black stuff. It's the same goddamn thing, isn't it? Yes, it is.
to missell your own
I
idea.
don't want to like disqualify anybody's identity or sexuality, but
I mean,
some
how do these people even communicate with other people? Seriously, she can't even get a thought out. Well, I don't want to piss anybody off. Well, you're probably going to piss somebody off someday. Then what? What are you going to do then?
people may just go because it's such a hot topic in a sense.
It's trending, isn't it?
Yeah, it is because we're a lot as a generation we are a lot more open about it. But because
Can you spell TikTok? I think you can.
that people may attempt to jump on a bandwagon. Does
Hmm.
that make
Well, the head of the Labour Party say that you can't say that only women have cervix. That's a big message to 65 million people, isn't it? So people are going to hijack that, aren't they, for the wrong reasons? Some people will use that. Not everyone's as good and as benevolent as we are they?
I guess, but I just personally think like there isn't like even if it is a trend, who
Yeah.
cares that much? Like
yeah, they jump on it as a trend. I haven't just said what I said.
Because governments are changing to accommodate your insanity. That's why it's a big deal. Dumbass.
It's still their right to
Yeah.
explore. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's if they jumped on it for the trend for the wrong reasons, it's a bad thing.
Sure.
Why should you? Oh, Jesus Christ.
So that's one possible negative.
God.
What about women coming away from gender and about?
I mean, I'm getting the idea with this chick is like, if everything isn't perfectly as I want it to be and all the time and every 24/7, oh my God, I'm offended. Do you believe these people actually exist? And I don't mean as the trans, it's just the insanity in this person. My God.
supporting trans. What about trans rights in sport? So female decide to become a male
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
competing in female sports.
Like,
well, we're both on the rugby team.
yeah.
So
On the female rugby team. Yes.
I have no issues with it because generally when most trans, especially trans women, are choosing to compete in sport, they've already gone through generally hormone replacement therapy. So their testosterone, which is, let's be honest, most people are talking about testosterone. Their testosterone levels are already lower than many women may have.
Yeah.
So I honestly don't think there's much of an issue because
What about the other way around then when male goes to female?
Doesn't happen. Or the other way. No. Wait a minute. I'm even getting confused with all this nonsense. Okay. He said female to male or male to female? Whatever. Go ahead.
So biological male transitions to a female and competes in female
that's what I was
sports.
talking about. Yeah,
You said this. Sorry, so you said there's lower testosterone levels.
because they've transitioned,
Sure, but they're still so they're not biologically male anymore as far as you're concerned.
but they're not male. No,
Once they've
they're-
transitioned.
Oh my God.
Across.
Yeah, they're female. Like I don't think there's
No,
any
they're not. No, they're not.
reason for them not to be in sport.
So
Like
it's not a negative. That wouldn't be a negative. What
No.
about safe spaces for women and shared bathrooms and things like that? And
they're female.
So why would that?
They're females with dicks. We don't want to make them feel uncomfortable by having to go to the bathroom they were assigned biologically, as they say. Isn't it interesting? The other 990 women who'd rather be taking a dump in the female bathroom without men in there, fuck them. We don't want to inconvenience the 10 So we're going to make it ricky, yicky, wiki, pooey, wee for the other 990. Does that make any fucking sense? Sounds like tyranny of the very tiny minority to me, and the government is fully behind it. Isn't that interesting? I wonder if there's something else going on. I don't know what it could be. I have no idea. Sons of Patriarchy, vaping in the gender bathroom. Funny. Timothy Sokol, hello. Willie Jurgen. Hi. All right. Let's continue with this master class in mental illness.
For that matter,
Sorry, can you say?
they're identified as female. They believe they're female, so they're female.
But they have a dick, so maybe 990 out of 1,000 women would be uncomfortable with that. So let's inconvenience them then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Same-sex bathrooms, etc., etc. Prisons, the issue of prisons as well. Biological men going into female prisons.
But they're
But
no longer the
but they're no
biological
longer
men.
They're no longer biological men. Okay,
They're
fine.
Women.
They're women.
Even if they haven't transitioned, they're still women.
They're
If
still
they have
women.
a penis with balls, testes, they're still women just because they said so. Okay.
Like
Yeah.
if they're transgender and they haven't transitioned medically,
Yeah.
they're still women.
It's
still women.
They deserve, and they're going to, for starters, be put in a much worse place than they're put into male prisons, which is something that you see every day.
So women are.
Trans women,
Mm.
if they're stuck in male prisons, are
Mm.
put in a much worse position than anything that they could do in women's prisons. Due to
Really? What about rape? No? No, nothing that they could do in a women's prison would be, oh my
the
God.
gender-based violence and anti-trans violence that they experience in prisons.
What about the violence they could inflict on the females in the prison? No, they're not men, they're women. Okay.
Well, I think that's pretty great.
I think I would just back up and slowly walk away, sir. I think you found the, well,
Really appreciate that, guys.
Thank you.
And that's definitely the best.
guys,
the best
did you say guys? You evil misogynist pig.
sort of interview that we could get. So thank you so much,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll just ask you some straight questions. Do you think that there are
I'm
more
sorry. Why are you trying to imply that straights are quite? They could have their own gender. Oh my God.
than two genders?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. And could you name some of them for me?
But of course, don't ask me to name the periodic table or do simple basic calculus, but I can give you all 48,000 genders. Oh yeah, baby.
Male, female, and then an umbrella of non-binary genders.
Oh, that's interesting. An umbrella of non-binary. But an umbrella, as you say, the umbrella. So there could be 50, 60, 100.
Maybe. I don't know.
Could be 1,000, could be 4 million. As a matter of fact, there's probably 8 billion different ones. It's called a personality.
I see it split in like sort of three in that way, but yeah. What do we know?
Oh, okay, fine.
Not as much as you should.
So, okay, that's pretty straight. So there's lots of different genders. Do you think people should be able to identify as any? It should be socially acceptable for people to identify as whatever they choose in terms of gender.
Yeah, I don't think it harms anybody if you don't.
Oh, okay. Okay. So live and let live, basically. So if I was to identify tomorrow as a female, if that's how I felt, and I'd been feeling like this for some years, you'd be okay with that. If we were friends, for example.
Absolutely, yep.
What about transgender and kids? Do you think that it's okay to be in pushing, branding, marketing, any of the above, profiteering, even pushing the agenda of trans on children? Do you think that's okay?
I think the most important thing is if a kid speaks about their gender, then you listen to them and take them seriously, because that's
Really? Do we take them seriously when they want to be Batman? Do we take them seriously when they want to be a rocket ship? Oh, it's different, is it? Really? You know, young kids want to be a lot of things when they're young kids. And some boys even play with toys made for girls. I know.
Proven to have better outcomes for that kid.
Yeah, there's even some girls that actually play with Lincoln Logs and, you know, over those erector sets and shit like that. I know. Obviously, they're not girls, they're boys.
So, you know, if a kid wants to change their name, their clothes, hairstyle, whatever, then like do that, support them in that.
Of course, but those choices aren't the same as your gender, are they?
No. But if it's coming from a place where they're feeling bad about their gender, then then that's fine.
So if
now, how do people with this brain disease get into the University of Sussex in England? Do you have no tests in England to get into uni?
if a 30-year-old couple or a 40-year-old couple had an 8-year-old child and that
I
child
don't mean academic, I mean a mental health test.
Completely unfiltered on its own, of its own accord, through whatever it's seen and heard, said, I want to be this, the parent should take action and essentially push the idea rather than disable it.
It's not so much pushing, like listen to the kid, let them guide you in it. Like
Let the children guide the parents. Well, this is making more and more sense the farther we go along, huh? Channel 1-800-DUMB, hello. Rusty Rivers, Zombro is here. The Polish platypus is in the building. Yep. Just unfucking believable. These people, they walk around campus and how do they get enrolled here? Right?
Let them guide the parent.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Thank you. That's great. That's very kind of you. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Hey, mommy, I think I want to drink some alcohol because you have to listen to me because that's what I wanted. Yeah. Mommy, I want to smoke cigarettes. Mommy, I think it's okay. I should go over to the neighbor's house and stay the night. Let your children guide the parents, you stupid fuck.
So the topic at the moment.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Hey, look at this. We got that might be a stocking hat over here, but this is definitely, well,
Boy, Sussex today is transgender and the issue of transgender and rights and gender as well. So just ask you some straight questions.
Okay.
Do you think that there are more than two
what the heck kind of an outfit is that?
genders?
Well, I don't really think there are. Well, it's sort of a. I think gender's kind of a spectrum, kind of. I don't think it's like two separate things, if you know what I mean. I just think like you sort of look how you want, sort of dress how you want. Sort of
Nobody cares what you dress like. We're not talking about that, sweetheart. We're talking about children being indoctrinated into this bullshit. And the last person said, let the children lead the parents. Do you also believe in that? And what is the line in the sand? Can they go get alcohol? Can they smoke? Can they engage in adult activities if they think and they lead the parents in that direction? Tell me. I'm curious.
because if you think about it, that when you're when you're born, you're already put in these sort of boxes.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And you have to either sort of follow that.
It's one big stereotype.
Yeah. Or you kind of think, oh, I'm not going to, or you sort of, there's not, basically.
Yeah, so there are an indefinite number of genders.
Yeah.
So if I said there was 50 or 100, you'd say yeah.
Yeah, but then not all people use like labels.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
People just kind of.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, do it.
Could you?
Do you actually remember it was not more than a few years ago? And I think it was especially Generation X or maybe the millennials. Well, I just don't call myself one thing or I don't want to be labeled. And now everybody's got a fucking label and it depends on the day or even the hour. Oh my God.
Could you name the genders? If you think there's more than two.
Male,
The
female.
stereotypical two, if you think there's more.
I guess people use like, I don't know, non-binary, but that's, I guess if you're using non-binary, that says that gender is a binary.
But what if you're a bisexual? Just as an example. You'd be one or the other or both, wouldn't you? So there wouldn't be a non-binary, would it? You'd be a binary.
Technically, it's not if you go by the sort of view that
It's a bit ironic, that one.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess you can't really name it because some people don't go by labels. If you look in other cultures, like I can't remember what the tribe is, but there are certain tribes.
There's a certain tribe where they have a lot of inbreeding. That's where they get these syndromes, right?
Where they kind of have a third sort of gender or role or
Uh-huh.
they have like mixed kind of.
Did they have 70 of them though, or did they have 3? Male, female, and other. No.
Opinions of how people should act and stuff.
Yeah, and we should probably look at where those tribes are and how they live, because it probably wasn't comparable with Western life and how we live. But I see your point. I'm conscious of time. Can I ask you on the subject of trans activism? Do you think that we should be pushing children to transition to the opposite gender?
Yes.
Do you see any ethical or moral implications there?
I mean, I personally can't say anything because I've not got a child. I mean, I didn't go through that.
But your opinion as a voter in the UK matters.
Yeah.
God forbid. What did you say, hamster? Nothing.
I mean, I can't.
Do you think we should let kids be kids, or do you think we should push it on them?
I don't think it's pushed on them. I think.
Oh, really?
I think people that. I mean, I think most people who
yes,
are sort of like trans, they kind of know from like young age, and I feel like people who aren't trans, we can't fully kind of put ourselves in that position and say to them, oh, you can't transition or something, you can't do this.
So do you think it's possible to transition to a different sex?
Yeah, but purple-haired queen here, it's not for you, it's for the parents. You understand?
I mean, it's hard because when you're young, your brain's not as sort of like developed and stuff.
You're not fully developed at 12, for example, as you are at 20.
No, but then you kind of know yourself better than what other people do, so it's kind of a sort of dilemma. I don't have a straight answer for that, honestly.
It's very difficult. Can I ask you a question? Do you know when you were a child, did you know what you wanted to be?
No.
I wanted to be. I know it sounds really cliche. I wanted to be a superhero, but it's a good job that I've grown up, because otherwise, if I wanted to transition to a superhero, I could go and jump off that roof, couldn't I?
Yeah. I think it is definitely more of a cultural thing, because if you look at other sort of, I don't know, like countries, they kind of view gender as like different. And
really, which ones are those? Oh my God. Well, in some, tribal place somewhere in the world, they have a two-spirit gender or something.
I mean, even like families, because I was sort of raised as quite a gender neutral. Like I was just sort of left to do what I wanted, basically. I was allowed to play with like boys' toys.
Yeah, pink wasn't forced on you as a color.
No.
Who gives a shit about playing with toys? We're not talking about such inane bullshit anymore, purple hair. We're talking about children that are being transitioned with heavy-duty drugs. I think that's a bit more important than playing with a fucking Tonka truck if you're a girl, or you wear a blue dress instead of a pink one. Don't you? Can you see the distinction? No? It's all just one big ball of the same to me.
Actually, my mum dressed me in sort of like blue stuff.
Okay, and?
So I was personally raised as quite a kind of open-minded sort of person.
You were.
So it's open-minded because your mother dressed you in blue. Okay. All right.
Left to make up your own mind, your own decision about.
But then I know that not everyone gets that kind of upbringing. So.
But you see, you didn't make your own mind up, did you? Your mother bought you the clothes, you dumbass.
Kind of, yeah, it's it's very culturally kind of dependent, I think.
Do you just lastly, do you think that pushing marketeering, branding, profiteering of anything to do with the idea of trans and kids, do you think that's child abuse?
I don't know really.
Can an 8-year-old make its own decisions?
Yeah, well, yeah. I think they can. Yeah, I guess. Again, it depends how they kind of view that sort of how they've been raised and what they kind of what sort of view they have, and I don't know. It's quite hard.
It's complicated, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry,
No, it's fine. No, that's fine. You've done amazingly. So just lastly,
Yeah.
if it's not, and you're saying that an 8-year-old could decide something like that, they don't have the mental capacity, as we've already established. If they wanted to start drinking from a bottle of scotch, and you found that if you had a kid, then you could argue, well, they're actually doing what they want to do, so leave them to it.
Yeah, well, I do get that point.
The uni aren't accepting that.
Mm-hmm. Is anyone surprised? Well, but I mean, that's different. I mean, that's a whole different thing, isn't it? Right? I think I've had enough of that one. Now, let's see if we can find one here that has a rather, shall we say, a clickbaity title that does not reflect the content of the video. Now, where do you suppose we'd ever find something like that? Could you take a guess? Put it in the comments. Where would we find a rather horrible statement to be put on the title of a video? Which outfit do you think would put something like that together for us? I don't want to show the title.
Hi there.
But I think you can read it. Anti-feminists think. Who thinks that? Who thinks such nonsense? This is the title on their video, guys. Deserve it. Now, of course, I think it goes without saying, no one in this video says any such thing. This is about 8 years ago. All right, Karen, take it away.
There. I'm Girl Writes What. I'm an online handle. I'm a blogger. I blog about masculinity, gender equality, and anti-feminism.
And you fix your own bathroom too. You're like you're a magic wizard. How do you do it, Karen? Actually, around this time, she was installing a second bathroom or something.
When you think about the kind of life that many men end up having, it really says something about the disregard we hold men in, that we can chain them to that kind of obligation.
Now, Karen, you're an anti-feminist, so clearly Vice believes you think victims deserve certain things. Is that correct? How would you answer this question, Karen?
Without providing them any kind of benefit of choice or freedom. I mean, we have a word for that, and that word is slavery. Give it another couple decades, and that's where men will be.
Girl Writes What? Karen Strong from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, up there in the land of Chris Mitchell, the king and the emperor of Canada. Karen Strong is unicorn level. If only more were autistic. What do you say? Rusty Rivers, Sons of Patriarchy. Who else is in here? Yeah, I'm still waiting on if she's still doing content. She was just on election night with me and Terrence Pop, and I think Hammer. It was election night, this past election. So Karen was on, as well as Lauren, and they're all part of the Honey Badgers radio show. So yes, Karen is doing content on the Honey Badgers. I haven't seen much on her latest or on her channel specifically, but she's been doing Honey Badger radio for years. So yeah, just Honey Badger radio, separate words, you'll find them. I think Rander McCam goes over there, and there's a couple other. It's a fun show. It's interesting to listen to. All right, let's get back to, anti-feminists think certain things which they don't. How does Vice get away with actually putting a headline like this? when it's absolutely untrue. It's disgusting. Go on, Karen.
The MRM, the men's rights movement, is just sort of a group of individuals and organizations that advocate for raising awareness of discrimination issues that men and boys face in society. I kind of...
Yeah, but what about that deserved part? Are we going to get to that?
Stumbled across a Voice for Men. And I stuck around and did a whole bunch of reading. And
By the way, there's a great article on there today. I put in the community tab by Elizabeth Hobson, who was on a couple of days ago. She wrote a very nice article at voiceformen.com, I guess, or just go to the community tab. It's one or two messages down from the top. You can read the article. It's really good.
My state.
Elizabeth is part of the MRM as well, or MRA. Take your pick. Paul Elam, the Nazi.
My name is Paul Elam. I'm the founder and publisher of avoiceformen.com. Domestic violence and rape and false allegations happen to be 3 of the 4 areas where the public has been most successfully deceived by the feminist establishment about the nature of those problems. These people don't want these issues to be heard. I know that sounds maybe a little tinfoil, but it's true.
Not at all. Because when you do point out real statistics, criminal statistics about these particular crimes, you have data, you have actual reports that allegedly are put out every year by the government. The Clary Act report, which I cannot for the life of me find. It tallies up all these reports from all the colleges all over the United States. It's a federal law. I can't find the data. But when you can find the data and it doesn't reflect what the feminist fantasy believes it should be, well, they merely say, well, it's just because they're not reported. Right, Paul?
The men's movement was a boys' club. The public at large, who might have looked at a face like mine, a white male at my age, and judged, okay, well, here we go. But the women showed up the moment they were invited. I feel fantastic about the fact that a diverse range of people are gateways, including women, into the men's movement. People like Karen Strawn and Janet Bloomfield.
Janet Bloomfield, judgy bitch. You guys probably have not heard of her, but she's been around a long time. She used to be on Twitter, and I think she was yeeted from Twitter like maybe 6 years ago or something in that order. But,
my name is Janet Bloomfield, and I am having my hair and makeup professionally done. I will be attending the International Conference on Men's Issues, and I would like to look as pretty as I can, and I don't know how to do this, so I have a very lovely artist who is helping me. Yeah,
we got her. She's gonna look gorgeous. She didn't need much help.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Now, this was the one, I believe it was 2014. Where these men got together. I believe it was Detroit or a suburb of Detroit. Terrence Popp's coming up here as well. And the protests and the bomb threats and various other things, they had to find another venue for this. This was 2014. And guess who was calling in the bomb threats and causing trouble? Oh, you know it. It was the fembots. You know. They want men to get together and share their emotions. But when they do, they threaten to bomb the building. Interesting.
I felt like I was being indoctrinated into feminism by this misrepresentation of male power. Men have this incredible sense of guilt that they're carrying around from rape culture. This idea that they're all rapists, that women are all afraid of them. But the standard of what constitutes rape is now so low that virtually all sexual encounters constitute rape.
They could be, yes. This was after Title IX. This was after kangaroo court stuff in the colleges. Yes. A regret could be considered a grapefruit. According to the Dear Colleague letter, you guys know all that, right? The Godfather. She married Karen or Janet? I don't know. I don't know who's married. I'm sorry. Oh, Sandman was at that as well, 2014. Oh, okay. AC is here. All of this because we didn't protect... Moving while standing, she was, but can only confirm that several years ago. They canceled that. I think Warren Farrell was there too. Yeah. I believe it was Pop that got the venue set up at the VFW And I think it was a suburb of Michigan, but we'll find out here shortly. Go on.
I'm sorry, but how much marital rape have you committed? Have you ever had sex with your husband while drunk? Like I have all the time.
It's good.
Oh, well, congratulations. You're a rapist too.
But see, it's only a one-way street, though, isn't it? That's Janet's point.
The standards are so absurdly low. And what's actually going to happen is it's going to get flipped around, turned on women. You can count on men to start charging women with rape now.
And that did happen. There were several rather high-profile cases where the encounter happened, everything was consensual, but then the guy got up in the morning, and I think it was even in Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been Michigan or Ohio. He got up in the morning, and with all this Title IX shit floating around, he ran straight to the Title IX office and made the report first. Oh, the fembots lost their friggin' mind on that one. Okay, St. Clair Shores, Michigan.
The reason I wanted to have this conference is simply because we need the dialogue about these issues.
That's Aaron Pizzi there, of course.
And we need to be able to have that dialogue outside.
Who was also threatened with death and murder by the fembots in the 70s in England. In case you don't know her story. It's in The Red Pill, the movie The Red Pill. If you
the ideological lens of feminism.
Those peaceful, equality-loving women. They had to intercept her mail. The government had to intercept all the mail and make sure there was nothing in there that would blow up. Seriously. It actually happened.
Welcome to the International Men's Conference at the VFW St. Clair Shores.
As most of us who have kept abreast of events surrounding the conference know, there has been some harsh criticism of some people in this movement, myself among them. Allegations of misogyny, allegations of racism, allegations of homophobia, allegations of supporting rape and other forms of violence against women. I suppose that's to be expected.
Boys who are failures to launch.
There's Farrell. That's Suzanne Venker, who lives in St. Louis, Missouri, by the way.
Who aren't doing well in school.
And I know who this woman is, but I can't think of her name. I'm sorry.
Notice that not many girls are
She might be a honey badger.
interested in them. But they have an easy escape. Video porn. 250 million options. Why, in an age of equality, do we have male-only draft registration?
Well, that's a really good question, Warren. People have been talking about that for decades, and nobody really seems to give a shit. I know. Oh, wait a minute. Wasn't it last year that a Democrat introduced legislation that would make the draft also include women? Did you hear that? Guess who shot it down? Republicans.
Why, when nothing had a greater impact on women's freedom than birth control pill for women, do we have none for men?
Well, because it's just, we're evil and shit.
Our next presenter is one of the most prominent women in the men's rights movement.
Karen Strong.
Put your hands together for Karen Strong.
All right. Excellent. My name is Karen, and I am an anti-feminist.
All right. So you blame the victim then, don't you? What a bunch of bullshit. Now, I'm trying to recognize some of these people, but I'm not really seeing a lot of familiar faces yet. Maybe I'm just not remembering.
This conference is extremely important.
International Conference on Men's Issues, Detroit, Michigan, 2014.
This conference is...
Yep, 2014. And we were talking with Elizabeth. They've been doing the ICMIs in England. They have for the past few years. So if you're interested, look up Justice for Men and Boys, I believe. And there's a lot of footage. There's a lot of speakers. Elizabeth has a video. I think we played that a couple days ago. I think. And Mike Buchanan and Dr. Randomer Cam and some of the honey badgers are there too. I think that was 2020 or 2021. They put all of the videos up there. It's pretty interesting. I mean, some of them are better than others, but if you're interested.
Is extremely important to be able to come out in the open, to meet everybody, to form bonds, and have our chance to talk.
For me, like a lot of others, Karen Strawn is a really important person. A lot of people who are given a voice when they're able to come speak here might not be comfortable bringing those issues up. It really truly is an international conference that's here. People came here from India.
There's so much time to interact and talk. In fact, yesterday night, I slept only for 3 hours because it's so exciting to talk and share and feelings.
These are very important issues that the speakers were discussing, and I believe that society at large needs to hear this message.
We don't care. We don't give a shit. We women in this movement. You can say whatever the hell you want about us. Call us misogynists, rapists.
Yeah, these are some of the honey badgers. This is Allison. Some of these. This is Allison for sure.
Enabling anything. You call me what you want. I am an anti.
You got a T-shirt too, Karen. All right, cool.
Feminist, and I don't give a shit. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Excellent talk.
It was okay?
Yeah, very good.
I really didn't have
Look who's standing in the background, standing tall.
much prepared. I just kind of winged it.
Yeah, there he is, the popster. Gonorrhea.
All right. Gonorrhea.
Wow, the popster cleans up pretty good. Looking good.
They call me the gateway drug to the MRM. I get 75, 100 messages a day. They're just thank you so much because you articulate what I've always sort of known and wanted to say. I've heard from men who said that watching one of my videos was the first time they cried in 20 years.
I used to watch all of her videos. They're still up. So it's either under Girl Writes Water or Karen Strawn. So if you're
We decided we wanted to do a blog talk radio show with just
honey
women.
badgers.
No, you don't want to hear me sing. You think you want that, but you don't.
Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, and everything is wonderful. That's wonderful when we're together. Oh God, Karen looks like she's just been raped.
Oh God.
We have honey badger merchandise. This is a logo that I dreamed up, a target with a honey badger head.
I like it. That's cool.
So that the feminists would know where to
it's Hannah Wallen.
point the gun.
Whoops. Sorry.
I don't know if you can see, a lot of the merchandise has my face on it, which is
I can see that.
a little disconcerting.
I think this might have been the first
Since
one.
A Voice for Men came on the scene, we've done nothing but make inroads into the mainstream media. And it's generally not nice things that they have to say about us.
I wrote an article several years ago called "If You See Jezebel in the Road, Run the Bitch Down." That was a response to an article at Jezebel.com that focused on the editors and writers and readers bragging about beating their boyfriends. And
It was a response, obviously a satirical sort of response to what they wrote, but no. Stream was yeeted? No. We got yeeted? No shit. Well, we'll see if it comes back. I can't believe they yeeted us. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Just temporary interruption, I guess. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm back. We're back. It said it was copyright. It was detected to be copyright, and they stopped the stream. So, well, hold on here. I'll show you. Hold on. Just, yeah. We're back. We're back. We're back. Yes. So it wasn't it wasn't a bad yeet. It was we're back. I can't find my own friggin' stream though. Sorry. Yeah, okay. Copyright my Oh no. Oh no. Well, that's what they said. I mean, you got to play by the rules. You know. It's unfortunate that they're so quick to I can't believe it's copyright. I suppose Vice got pissed off, probably. It happens. What are you going to do? I got the same thing with Elizabeth's stream a couple days ago. They gave me a copyright nudge. They didn't whack it. They just said, hey, this is copyright. Hi, James Maxwell. Due to a copyright match, your stream is interrupted. The mind virus is so frightening. Turning Point UK. Woke gender nonsense. Streams are interrupted when copyright material is detected. After copyright material is no longer being streamed, streams are automatically re-enabled. So isn't that kind of them? Isn't that nice? Yeah. Well, it happens. You know, what are you going to do? I am a naughty. Sons of patriarchy. Very, very well put. Copyright. That's okay. That's okay. It was just a mere interruption. It's not a strike or anything like that. So for a strike, they would have yeeted the entire stream. It wouldn't come back. Donovan Sharp did that one. He was I don't know what the hell he was talking about, but all of a sudden, just boom, gone. I think Hammer got one of those too. I think Hammer was doing a stream and it just and Susan came in and whacked him. I understand why Pop wants to slowly move to all. Yeah. Well, he's over there now. I think he's doing a live one right now. Yeah. Drubius, copy wrong. Data Wasteland. Hello. How are you? I am a naughty hamster. What time is it? Well, it's only 9:30. And Brandon Trueblood is still not here. Let me refresh it. No, I think he's probably checked out for the evening. So, what are you gonna do? He's probably tired. He drives all the time. So should we take a chance? Should we? Let's see if I can find the ICMI stuff. ICMI. What is it? 2020. I think it was 2020. See if I can find it. Hold on. I think it was under a different name though. I think it was Justice for Men and Boys. Hold on here a second. Well, anyway, that was Karen Strawn so rudely interrupted by For Men and Boys by Susan. Justice for Men and Boys. Okay. Let's see here. There's Elizabeth again. Oh, geez, I did Elizabeth on a stream 2 years ago. Okay. Yeah. Oh, if you'll bear with me for 1 second. Let me see if I can find the ICMI stuff. International Men's Day. Okay, well, we could do that one. Videos. Mike Buchanan actually had a funny stream. I'm probably not going to be able to find it. Because, that'd be too easy. That would be way too easy. Let's see. Or maybe I can. Hold on. Oh. Well, there's Janice. Ooh, Janice was talking about a forbidden topic. We can't go there. Oh, no. We can't do that. Let me see if I can find Buchanan's bit. It was pretty funny. And maybe we'll get totally yeeted this time. Who knows? Let's see. Well, there's Warren Farrell's. It's got to be close. There's Karen's. Let's see. Was this the one? Here, I'll preview it in the background here a little bit. Hold on. Nope. It's not the one. There's another one here. Oh, I'm getting closer now. Okay. Yeah. There's Liz. Oh, Sydney MGTOW did a did one. Oh, that's cool. Let's see. Oh yeah. Now I'm getting somewhere. Hold on. There's a lot of good ones here. You have to scroll down quite a bit though. So it was ICMI 20. There's Randomer Cam. Let's see. Oh, there's Man versus Woman Myth. Did you guys ever watch him? Also a pretty good channel. Oh, Glass Blind Spot is also good. Okay. All right, let me find one we can latch onto here. Tom Golden, also very good. Yeah, this is chock full here. Let's it's Justice for Men and Boys. Copy. I'll put it in the stream for you guys to go check out. Yeah, Man Woman Myth was old school. You're right, channel. Yeah. He claims he's going to come back and do some more, but have you or any of the boys been on one of the ICMI? Well, the one that got yeeted, Pop was on there. This was 2014. So was Karen Strawn, the Honey Badgers, and some other guests, Paul Elam and Warren Farrell, those guys. Yeah, Man Woman Myth is pretty good. I don't know if I should try one of his or not. Let me see if I can find. Oh, there is a Man Woman Myth. Oh, they've got Man Woman Myths here. Cool. There's Elizabeth again. Reading books. That's cool. Warren Farrell. Sorry, this is all. I wasn't expecting to get yeeted. I was going to do this in the background until everybody said, "Oh my God." All right. Well, let's see. I guess we'll try this one. This guy's pretty interesting. I'm not sure he's still with us, but he might be. Justice for Men and Boys. All right, let me share this one. And this is Elizabeth's political party. Her and Mike Buchanan basically kind of share duties leading the thing. All right. Man, Woman Myth. Very interesting. Very good stuff. Let's see if I can get enough volume here.
In the UK, every November, Britain's war dead are remembered. The primary purpose of this day is to remember the dead men of World War I, the most awful of the world wars as regards the cheapness of men's lives.
It was really unbelievable. They just threw men, and yeah, it was terrible. A lot of women died as well, not in the battlefield, but there were bomb factory explosions and crap. So just a horrible, just absolutely no meaning to that war. Nothing was gained, nothing was lost. I mean, it kicked off Hitler and the Nazis because of the Versailles Pact and all that other stuff. Anyway. All right. Let's continue.
Men were ordered out of trenches and made to walk slowly towards the enemy under machine gun fire and artillery bombardment. In one day, during one battle, Britain lost 58,000 men. as many men as America lost in the entire Vietnam War. Millions of men faced poison gas, landmines, and minus 20-degree temperatures on the battlefronts at Verdun and the Somme. Millions of men died or were horribly mutilated and crippled. Millions of men were willing volunteers, and millions more were conscripts, sent to fight and die in conditions so awful that they simply defy belief.
Yeah, it's just if you really want to see the hell that war is, go look at World War I stuff. It's absolutely just unbelievable.
Thousands of men lost their sanity or were shell-shocked into coma.
Yep.
And hundreds of men were executed for simply being unable to function as soldiers in a literal hell on earth.
Yeah. I'm going to have to banana this one just in case Susan is still, because you can see he's getting copyright stuff from Discovery. So probably copyrighted. It could be public domain at this point.
World War I was quite simply the worst war in imagining. It has the distinction of being quite probably the most awful experience human beings have ever suffered through.
Yeah. I would say that's a fair point. Brandon just texted me. He went to sleep. He was sleeping. All right. So let's go. Is it Harry? Who is this guy's name? We can bypass the copyrighted stuff. I mean, like I said, you could, if you want to, you could spend hours on this channel. It's pretty brilliant, actually.
It's only the men that come back in body bags.
Mm-hmm.
In the army, women are not put in the front line, but they expect to be paid the same.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I think that's outrageous. Women in the military were allowed to do pretty much what they liked.
Now, keep in mind, this was 15 years ago. It was quite a long time ago, so things may have changed. I don't know. So.
And that no male officer dared to, in any way, exert his authority over them. And the reason we ought to admonish them for things that they might have done wrong because they were fearful of sexual harassment.
Mm-hmm. Sound familiar? Yeah, I think he may have passed away as well. Channel. Very interesting guy to listen to. Like I said, I kind of dig the British accent anyway, but he's really interesting. And there's a lot of other guys on this. Yeah. All right. Let's see. How do I want to deal with this one? What the hell are we gonna do? I guess we'll play a little more of it.
Women are a liability in the military for numerous reasons. Women cannot perform as well as men in battle. They're weaker, slower, smaller, and lack the temperament for the stress of battlefield action.
That's a movie. Come on. Yeah, this is copyright hell here. I better go find something else. Oh, see, now I'm all gun shy, so to speak. Let me go back. I'll find another one. Hold on. If I can find it at all. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Okay. Back. And it was funny because Buchanan, he pretended to drink an entire bottle of vodka in his opening statement. It was hilarious. Clearly he wasn't, right? But it was still pretty funny. Yeah, there's well, you can't see it. Elizabeth at Speaker's Corner. Let's see. Let's see. Nope, not the vodka one either. Well, I'm just going to have to plan ahead next time. Have a backup plan in case Susan yeets me again. Jeez. Let me see. Yeah, but man-woman myth, just search on man-woman myth. It's all over the internet. You can still watch them all, I think. And it's a good series. It's really a good series. Let me see. 1 second here. Oh, here's the vodka one. Okay. This is pretty good. Let me share this one. And I don't think it should be a copyright unless Buchanan. Why would he do that to me? He's my buddy. Okay, let's see what he says. Why women fail to what? Oh, okay. All right. We probably have to banana just in case.
I should start my talk by telling you that in the low bar, there's a link to a PDF with links to many of the materials I'll be referring to in this talk, including video clips. The inspiration for this talk came to me a few months ago. I was enjoying a cigar and a double single malt in the main library of my summer residence, Buchanan Castle, near Loch Lomond in Scotland.
Why wouldn't you have a castle in Scotland?
I purchased the castle in 2013 with the royalties from my first 5 international bestsellers. Two Men in a Car, The Fraud of the Rings.
What? He wrote that? I had no idea.
David and Goliath.
Banana.
The Glass Ceiling Delusion, and of course, my #1 bestseller, Feminism, The Ugly Truth.
Oh, God, isn't that true? Oh, boy. Looks like my ex. No, it doesn't.
Since 2013, I've spent millions of pounds having the castle restored to its former glory. You'll find an entry on the castle on Wikipedia, although the editors seem unaware that it's been fully restored.
Yes. Well, clearly you can see in the background there the beauty of the castle.
But then Wikipedia is usually unreliable when it comes to MRAs and other critics of feminism and feminists. My own Wikipedia page was started by a feminist who goes by the name The Vintage Feminist, and there's no mention of Buchanan Castle on the page.
Gosh, almighty. Well, it's a good thing we can go in there, Mike, and get that fixed, right?
Anyway, in my library, I stumbled across a book I first read many years ago. Men Are Better Than Women. It was written by Dick Masterson, an American, and published in 2008. It's a gem.
Oh, yes.
I'll just read the start of the back cover text to give you a flavor of the content.
Okay, let me get a drink of water. Get ready for this. All right, go on, Mike.
Through a process of exhausting man research he calls keeping his eyes open, Dick Masterson has compiled a magnum-sized list of the ways men are better than women.
Okay, banana.
It is an infallible compendium of man's greatness, filled with the most egregiously fallacious arguments ever put to words, but with some kind of miraculous, rock-solid man logic dripping like motor oil from every sentence.
This is pretty funny. It's Justice for Men and Boys. I think I just put the link. It's good stuff. So JLM, the hamster voice will ease you into slumber. Thank you. Thank you for Dick Masters. Richard Dick Masterson.
The book has a famous proverb at the start to set the tone.
Does it?
Female anger is the weather vane of truth. Wise words, I think we can all agree. In a similar vein, we must never forget Paul Elam's observation. A key measure of a man's character and mental health is his readiness to say no to women.
Oh my God, you could clearly, the misogyny is dripping. Oh my God, it's dripping.
In this talk, I'll be showing that women consistently fail to compete successfully with men, especially at the highest levels. I'll be mansplaining why women fail and why they always will, unless they're advantaged and men disadvantaged, in which case women aren't competing with men in any adult sense of the word.
I see.
Women have enjoyed equality of opportunity in the West for over half a century.
Oh, come on. Don't you know they're still oppressed, Mike? Why do you hate them?
And still, they cannot compete with men.
Well, of course.
I recently made an important decision, which I'm publicly revealing for the first time in this video.
Okay.
The only person I've confided my decision to is Elizabeth Hobson.
Oh, Lizzie, you got mentioned in the video.
The estimable leader of the political party Justice for Men and Boys, and the women who love them. Yes. And she's very supportive of my decision.
Okay.
I've decided it's time for everyone in the men's rights movement and beyond to stop pretending that women will ever compete successfully with men.
Banana, banana, banana.
The 50-year-long social experiment of intersexual competition is over, and the results are in. Women failed to compete successfully with men, and we now understand why that is and why they will always fail.
Okay, well let's get on that. What? Why is that? Oh, Dick Masterson and Dr. Phil. There actually was a guy who wrote this? Seriously, it was a book? I had no idea. Thank you, Data. The Polish platypus. Thanks you as well. Is that the safe word? No, actually, it's really a honey badger thing. It's like, theoretically, you're supposed to interrupt something. You're supposed to do, you can't just play someone's video, right? Because that's a straight copyright. You can't just take someone else's work and present it. Sometimes you can. I mean, sometimes the copyright owners will say, no, that's cool. We'll let him play it. But sometimes you can't. And so to use the copyright, whatever, the fair use thing, you have to comment and make it, add to it or present something and try to educate people, etc. Stuff like that. So yeah, banana is the safe word for certain folks. Free cat, like the Amazing Atheist, he likes bananas.
End of.
Okay.
So women can be relieved of the silly expectation that they can compete with men, which should reduce their stress levels and make them happier than they currently are.
Yeah.
Which can only be a good thing for both men and women.
Man, that'd be cool. Sure. Now, I just can't help but have my eyes over here on this big old vat of Russian standard vodka and Big Tom. I think we're going to pour ourselves a Bloody Mary.
One of the few female writers whose work I enjoy reading is Faye Weldon, now 89.
Really?
In 2008, her book, What Makes a Woman Happy, was published. And on the first page, she writes this.
I was expecting it to be a little longer than that, but a little more thick, because you just never know. It just changes by the hour.
The brutal answer to what makes women happy is nothing. Not for more than 10 minutes at a time.
Bingo! Banana.
End of extract. It's simply not down to men to make women happy, because that's an impossible demand. It's down to women to work out how to be happy.
Yep.
Now, we're constantly told that women are strong and amazing, so that shouldn't be too difficult for them.
Well, I mean, they hold up half the sky, Mike. Come on, why do you hate women? Oh, my God.
Historically, most people have been reluctant to point out the obvious realities of intersex competitiveness to women, preferring not to challenge their fragile egos and therefore upset their delicate feelings.
We certainly wouldn't want to do that. Also, Mike Buchanan, he's typically all over, like Piers Morgan, some of those shows, the English shows, he talks about men's rights and stuff. But he's pretty good. He knows what he's talking about.
It was a reluctance rooted in gynocentrism, which comes to these conferences to die. There will be no gynocentrism in this talk.
No, this is all about the men's.
I'll be drawing on an important research paper written by a team of British psychologists, ironically led by a female psychologist.
No way. I didn't think women could go to college in England.
One major reason women fail to compete with men is sex differences in work ethic.
Oh.
In the year 2000, Catherine Hakim, a world-renowned British sociologist, published a paper on what she termed preference theory.
Okay.
And it's covered in her book, Work Lifestyle Choices in the 21st Century.
Was she forbidden from ever publishing again? Because obviously is not a choice what women do with their lives. It's the evil oppression of men.
Her research uncovered that 4 in 7 British men are work-centered, but only 1 in 7 British women are. 6 out of 7 women, in other words, would prefer, given the opportunity, to engage in little or no paid employment.
Or just a more balanced sort of existence. You know, work doesn't have to be everything. You might want to have family. You might want to travel. might want to have your hobbies. You might want to do whatever the hell you want to do. And they're still oppressed with all those choices in life. I know, it's crazy.
This 4-to-1 work ethic ratio obviously has major implications. A few years ago, a survey of British women carried out for the Fawcett Society, a leading feminist propaganda outfit, found that fewer than 1 in 10 of women self-identified as feminists.
1 in 10. I think we have similar numbers in the United States. I thought it was maybe 15%. Go on.
But feminists are wildly overrepresented in setting and influencing public policy.
Yes.
And they're responsible for driving women out of the home and making them engage in far more paid employment than they would otherwise do.
I mean, do you think, just aside from what Mike's point is here, do you think there's some peer pressure? I'm sure there is. You know, wow, why are you staying home? You need to go get your job and you need to... Probably. Now, Real Femme Sapien is on right now. Oh, oh, you guys. Hold on 1 second. I think I need a torpedo of Guinness. I'll be right back. Yes, indeed. We need a torpedo of Guinness. Oh, baby. Brewed at St. James Gate, Dublin. All right. Now I'm in the mood. Let's go.
A free choice. We now have solid evidence for the long suspected causal link between feminists' increasing influence and women's increasing unhappiness over the past 50 years, thanks to research by a team of crack sociologists, by which I mean expert sociologists, not sociologists who smoke crack.
The ones that try to live in reality and not fantasy. Okay.
The team was led by Professor Ethel Murray of the University of Swindon, one of only 2 non-feminist sociology professors in the UK.
That's like rare as hen's teeth these days.
The other being Eric Anderson, an American professor of sport, health, and social sciences at the University of Winchester.
Okay.
Eric is talking about brain injury as a men's issue at this conference. Feminist academics are doing all in their power to have Professor Murray's report taken down from the internet. So I urge you to Google the keywords Ethel Murray, University of Swindon, before the report is taken down. I'll explain why advancing women over better qualified men, whether through gender quotas or otherwise, inevitably leads to declines in performance and higher costs.
Yep. Well, I don't know. I don't have the facts in front of me. I don't have the statistics or the data, but, I trust you, Mike.
The declines in performance are seen following increases in the proportion of women in professions and in the senior levels of organizations.
Oh.
There are, of course, a very few exceptional women who can compete successfully against men at a high level in some areas, but their numbers are so minuscule they cannot possibly justify the large-scale, costly programs advancing women at the expense of better qualified men, which we see in many professions and in the senior levels of organizations.
Well, I mean, if they're equally qualified and equally as good, I have no problem with that. I don't care what you are, just do the job. That's all that matters to me.
I will illustrate the 3 Buchanan's laws of intersexual competition with real-world examples.
Okay.
My first law is this.
Yes.
Where merit is judged objectively, women fail to compete successfully with men.
Dripping with misogyny.
Almost the only exceptions to this law are female men's rights activists and anti-feminists, who are all both intelligent and beautiful, as many people have observed.
Yes.
Obvious examples include Belinda Brown, Professor Janice Fiamengo, Karen Strawn, and Elizabeth Hobson.
Oh, Lizzie, you got on the screen again. Hello. Hi, Karen. Hi, Janice. I don't know the other woman, but
The current leader of the political party Justice for Men and Boys, and the women who love them,
yes,
which I founded and led until 6 months ago. Women sometimes claim there are areas where merit is judged objectively and women outcompete men, but I've never found a claim which stood up to serious examination.
Okay, banana.
And so what if there were a few such areas? The number would be dwarfed by the countless areas where men outcompete women, so my first law would remain valid. I'll start with physical sports, in part because that's where intersexual competition is at its most absurd and hilarious, and therefore provides material for my website, Laughing at Feminists.
And this was really before a lot of this woke stuff we just talked about kind of got going. I mean, it was in the air. There was, you could whiff it, but it was not to the extent it is today. It just really just boom. It's like, what the hell? Dang it, we play in Sabbath now, Roni. What? I know my beer. Oh, good for you, Rusty. Did you find some Coors or whatever you want? I've got Guinness. Yeah, I'm not terribly familiar with Black Sabbath. I wasn't a big Black Sabbath guy. They were all right. They're the that one. What was that? Whatever. Never was a big fan of Sabbath. But it's okay. It's fun. It's a good time. Go ahead.
Let's be honest. The most you can say about women's soccer is that it's a cure for insomnia. But it's also a sport that many lesbians seem to enjoy playing and watching, along with
it's a cure for insomnia. Oh my God, that's beautiful. I love that.
Women's rugby. Some lesbians could benefit from engaging more in sporting activities. Ooh. I think we can all agree. This brings me to the Matildas, the Australian women's soccer team.
The Aussies. Aussies.
In 2016, the Matildas represented their country's best chance of an Olympic medal in soccer.
Yep.
And they were then ranked 5th in the world by FIFA.
Okay, so they're the 5th ranked team in the world. The Waltzing Matildas from Australia.
These women were claimed to be supreme athletes who had played and competed their entire lives to work their way to the elite level they were on at the time.
And I mean, it's nothing against women soccer players. I'm sure they're quite skilled competing against other women. Yes.
They were paid well for what they did, and it was said they literally ate, slept, and breathed soccer. An example of the ridiculous hyperbole that's often used with regards to women in general and sportswomen in particular.
Yes.
But they did certainly benefit from some of the best coaches, trainers, sports physicians, sports psychologists, and physiotherapists in the world.
That's great. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, good.
In May 2016, in preparation for an upcoming international friendly against Greece, the Matildas were pitched against a team of 14 and 15-year-old boys from a small school in Newcastle, New South Wales. The boys won 7-0. I can only assume that their mothers and maybe their teachers asked them not to go past the 10 or 20 goal marks.
I'm sure we've heard this all before, right? These professional, world champion female soccer players got their asses kicked by 14-year-old boys from high school. Pretty amazing.
It's always unwise for women to compete against men, and even boys, in sports. And in 2019, we had a vivid reminder of why that is in the World Athletics Championships held in Doha.
Okay, all right.
Some genius had come up with the idea of mixed 4x400 meter relay competitions.
Oh, God.
There were 7 national teams with 2 male runners and 2 female.
If you've seen that video, you should look it up. Rather, if you haven't seen that video, you should look it up. It's almost unbelievable how fast the man was compared to the female. It's hard to describe. It really is.
In the final, all the teams but one used the runner sequence man, woman, woman, man.
Okay.
The exception was Poland. The coach of the Polish team, surely a misogynist, decided to use the sequence man, man, woman, woman. How might that have turned out?
Well, let's just say the men that past the women during this relay. Literally, it was like she was standing still. Now, we've all heard that, right? But in this case, it was true. It's almost like she wasn't even there. It was like she was walking slowly compared to this guy. Yeah, look that one up.
The event organisers declined my request to include clips from the video footage of my talk.
Right.
So you'll need to go to the PDF for a link to the video and the times of the key extracts.
In the link below, I guess.
Long story short, in the final leg of the race, the Polish woman started with a lengthy lead over the 6 men starting the leg, maybe 80 to 100 meters. 4 of the 6 men beat her to the finishing line.
Yep.
Comedy gold.
And not just beat her. I mean, this is like hamster trying to run on a track with Usain Bolt or, one of these really, Sebastian Coe. Remember that name from a long time ago? Wouldn't have a chance. And it was very similar to that.
And it's on my comedy channel. I turn now to fields in which strength is of no consequence, but there's still no doubt who the winners and losers are.
Well, it depends. I mean, I happen to think female ice skating, figure skating. Yeah, men just can't. It's beautiful when men get out there. I mean, I love seeing, male bodies do those wonderful athletic things, but there's something about the women. They do it better. They're more flexible or something. So,
sports front, we need only look at snooker. Rhiannon Evans, 35, is an English snooker player and the reigning world women's snooker champion.
Okay.
She's won the women's world title a record of 12 times.
Almost looks like a ginger. Oh no! I wonder if she. Well, we don't want to play. We don't want to play those games. Derpington, hello. Never time. Have you guys actually seen that video? Really unbelievable. It's almost like she was glued to the track, and this man came up. It's like, how? Number one, how do these prestigious athletes like that? How do they perform? I have no concept because I'm fat. So I've never had the opportunity to do anything like that. Right. But I mean, if you're looking at golf, for example, or, tennis, maybe not, but, golf or chess or, some other thing, women can do just fine. It's just the big bulky shit, running fast and running people over, doing that kind of stuff. And I see Hemi 4-Speed is lurking. Did Brandon turn his stream on yet? He told me he fell asleep. Maybe we'll have to do it tomorrow. Yeah, I understand. I'm old too. But he drives all over the country. That's what he does. So can't say anything about him wanting to have a little bit of me time and crashing.
With 10 consecutive titles between 2005 and 14, and further wins in 2016 and 19. She's ranked number 1 on the World Women's Snooker Tour.
Okay.
Evans received a wild card to play on the main professional snooker tour during the 2010-11 season, but was unable to retain her place, which wasn't an earned place anyway, being a wild card, on the professional tour for subsequent seasons. In 2013, she qualified for the Wuxi Classic as an amateur competitor, becoming the first woman ever to reach the final stages of a ranking snooker tournament.
Now,
she received a wild card to the qualifying rounds of the World Snooker Championship in 2015 and from 2017 to 20.
Now, could I just ask a question for you men in the audience? Snooker is where you hit the, you do other, it's not pool, right? It's different, I believe, but I don't know.
Her best performance was reaching the second qualifying round in 2017 by defeating Robin Hull, for whom we have to feel very sorry. This made her the first and so far only woman ever to win a world championship match.
Oh, good for her.
Women are similarly non-existent or close to non-existent at the top level in other sports, not requiring physical strength.
Okay.
They include darts, where again women enter competitions with men after receiving wildcards, but they're soon eliminated by the men, usually in the first round. But let's move on from sports. What about intellectual competitions?
Well, I'm kind of sticking up for the girls here a little bit. Because you ever see those shorts video where there's those girls that, what is it called? A dubstep or something, where the girls are dancing. They do that thing with their feet and the legs and everything. How in the hell do they do that? Every time I see that, I marvel. I'm like, what? How do you do that? Now, I'm sure there's some tricks and you can learn how to do it, but still, that whole thing with the feet everywhere and the legs flying around, I think that's fantastic. I'm sure they'd kick most men's asses on that. Because women are built different. I know. Women are differently built than men. Stop it, you evil phobic thing, you.
Do women compete with men any more successfully there, where merit can be objectively determined?
I don't know.
No. Chess may be an obvious example, which brings us to Judith Polgar, a Hungarian woman now 44 years old.
Hey, the Hungarians, they know their chess. Trust me. That's all they do. That's the old man, that's all he did was play chess. Seriously. So doesn't surprise me at all it's a Hungarian.
She's generally considered the strongest female chess player of all time, although she's been inactive since 2015.
Okay.
Women's work ethic, eh?
Well, maybe she just wanted to do something else. Who knows?
Lengthy coaching from some top players, all of them men, obviously, she achieved the title of Grandmaster at the age of 15, the youngest ever player to break into the International Chess Federation.
I mean, that's pretty cool. Grandmaster at 15. That's pretty impressive.
She's the only woman to have ever qualified for a World Championship tournament, having done so in 2005. Her world ranking peaked that year at number 8. She's the only woman to have won a game against a reigning world number 1 player, Anatoly Karpov, in 1998. But that was in action chess, where games must be completed in under 30 minutes.
Oh, it's like where they dip slam the thing. Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
What about other intellectual competitions? The story is the same wherever you look.
All right.
BBC Radio 4 has run the Brain of Britain competition every year since 1954.
Okay.
Of the 62 winners whose sex is obvious from their names, 56 have been men.
Well.
University Challenge has been screened on TV every year since 1962. The format is 2 teams of 4 players competing, usually university students, but there are variations in the format. Women very rarely excel in University Challenge, but the low point for them surely came last year when the teams consisted of university alumni. The captain of the Reading University team was Sophie Walker, at the time the leader of the Women's Equality Party. In the final, she earned the distinction of being the captain of the only team in the programme's 58 years history to win no points.
Banana.
Losing 240 points to 0. Again, comedy gold. Virtually all the winning team's points were won by men, and more than half of them by one man alone.
Well,
Sophie Walker's team would have fared no worse if she and the other team members had all been replaced with bricks.
Or if they just threw darts at a random answer board, probably. Oh, God.
I turn now to Buchanan's second law of intersexual competition.
Okay. No.
Where merit is judged subjectively, where women appear to compete successfully with men, it's because of manipulation and the corruption of processes. Examples include the awarding of prizes and the appointments of people to positions.
Ew.
I'll illustrate my second law with reference to men and women in the arts.
He said processes. It's processes. Man, start speaking American over there.
2 other speakers at this conference are speaking about the sexes in the arts, and both are artists, Alexander Adams and Alan Dedman. Alan's video includes footage of his friend David Cockney, a forthright artist. Alan trained at the Royal Academy of Arts, where Tracy Emin...
This is what a feminist looks like. Oh, no. I'd say there's some big old hooters over there, wouldn't you? Yes, sir. There's some big old hooters there.
Sorry.
Hopefully they're female hooters.
Where Tracy Emin was appointed to the post of Professor of Drawing, despite the minor handicap of being unable to draw.
Oh.
Both Dedman and Cockney have some insightful things to say about Emin's art.
Okay. Yes.
In this photograph, Miss Emin is wearing a T-shirt sold by the Forces Society. I'm not sure if she's trying to smile. It looks to me like she may have been suffering from severe constipation that day.
Or perhaps she just sucked down a lemon. You never know.
Which would be ironic, given that she's a pain in the arts. This brings me to the literary world and book prizes, specifically the Booker Prize for Fiction. In 2019, the chair of the judging panel was Peter Florence, an unfortunate surname there for a man, while the 4 judges were all women: Liz Alder, Xiaolu Guo, Afua Hirsch, and Joanna McGregor. 2 prize winners were selected, something not allowed in the Booker Prize rules.
Oh no.
Both the winners were women.
No.
What are the chances?
What are the chances? It's so it's so phobic because it should have been, well,
Who can take seriously female winners of prizes in the arts? Not me. I turn now to Buchanan's 3rd law of intersexual competition. Preferencing women over men in professions and organizations leads to declines in performance and increases in costs. I shall demonstrate my law with reference to the worlds of education, medicine, politics, and the world of work in general. Education illustrates the point that women fail to perform as well as men at the individual and group level, and the result is predictable. William Collins is the British blogger behind the influential blog The Illustrated Empathy Gap, and the author of the international bestseller, The Empathy Gap, Male Disadvantages and the Mechanisms of Their Neglect.
I think it's William Collins, if you're interested. He's on the Chris Williamson show. I think it's William Collins, Irish guy. Interesting interview. So Chris Williamson, I think that's what it's called. I'll look it up for you.
Published last year by LPS Publishing, the world's leading publisher of books by men's rights activists and other anti-feminists.
Oh yeah, well, it must be him.
I'll be drawing on Collins's book in the section on education, and I recommend you check out his website on the issue of education, and so much more besides.
Okay.
I'll start with the issue of girls outperforming boys in secondary education and beyond.
Okay, all right.
Across the Western world, more women attend university than men, and this has been the case for many years.
Since 1979 in the United States, Michael. Remember that whole parity thing we were trying to get to? Oh, that happened long before many of us were born. Not me. I was there. I was like 12 or 13 or 14.
In the UK, we need to go back to the 1987-88 academic year for an understanding of the roots of the issue. That was the year that O-levels were replaced by GCSEs, which allowed for more continuous assessment and therefore enabled teachers' pro-girl bias to be reflected in grades.
I've heard this. I don't have any evidence, but since most teachers tend to be female because of oppression, it might make some sense, right?
It's a widely held but erroneous belief that boys did consistently better than girls in O-levels. Theories for which included boys being allegedly better equipped to handle the stress of the examination process.
Okay.
Which in itself said something about female anxiety, I think. Anyway, we turn to a diagram in Collins's book. We can see from the diagram not only that boys and girls did equally well prior to the introduction of GCSEs in 1987-88.
There must be some kind of a test in England. General something or other.
But the girls did markedly better from that year onwards. The education gender gap has continued to this day.
Yes.
The worst performing cohort of pupils has been working class boys for many years.
Yep.
And I know of only 2 politicians campaigning for this to be addressed. Philip Davis and Ben Bradley, both Conservative MPs.
Yeah.
The current Conservative government, which has a strong majority, is showing zero interest in addressing the issue.
A shock, isn't it? It's shocking.
I turn to the issue of the increasing proportion of school teachers who are female and the resulting disappearance of male teachers, which has had very predictable consequences.
I wonder if there's like at Eton and some other places like that. It's still in England. If there's more, well, I don't want to be considered a misogynist.
We turn to another diagram in Collins's book.
In other words, when it really counts, when the rubber meets the road, do we still have a lot of men? Yeah. There's an interesting movie out there called the Browning Edition. I think it's the Browning Edition. If you're interested in that kind of Merchant Ivory type films with British people and stuff, it's pretty good. It's a good movie.
You will notice the steep declines in the percentages of male teachers and male head teachers in both primary and secondary schools, with pupils spanning the age of 5 to 18. Over the years 1970 to 2018, very nearly half a century.
Yeah.
Before 1970, pupils had to sit the 11 plus examination at the end of their primary years to determine which types of school they would later attend.
Oh, I didn't know that. Do we have something similar in the U.S.? I don't know. I do remember, this was obviously a long time ago, but there were some tests we had to take and it would kind of point us in the direction of a career. I can't remember what the hell those were called, but we did have the Iowa standardized tests. If you're old enough, some of you are, remember you fill in a little circle and all that other happy shit. Yeah.
To illustrate whether educational standards have declined in the UK since 1970, I'll turn to Simon Webb, a British historian who only recently published a video on his History Debunked YouTube channel titled, Have Educational Standards in Britain Declined?
Yep.
He compared maths questions in an 11 plus paper in a pre-1970 examination with the GCSE maths examination for 16-year-olds in 2014. It's worth noting that calculators were not commercially available before 1970.
Really?
So they couldn't have been available to pupils taking the 11 plus.
That's true. I think the TI calculator first came out in like 1971. Now, Simon Webb, don't know if you know this guy, but I believe he's under the name of History Debunked. So you can find his videos if you'd like to enjoy his content on the YouTubes.
Pupils could and did use them for the GCSE exams in 2014. I would invite you to freeze the video and attempt the 4 questions without the use of a calculator.
Okay, let's see. 11 plus, no calculator, pre-1970. An aeroplane flies from Glasgow to London in 1 hour, 51 minutes at 220 miles per hour. Find the distance in miles. Okay, well, we could probably do that. Write down the prime factors of 210? What? Prime factors like what? 7, 3, 2. And I'm supposedly an engineer. Oh my God. So, hour 51 minutes, 220 miles. Find the distance in miles. Well, that's pretty easy. Right? It's almost 2 hours, which is 120 minutes. So you can kind of 120. Yeah, okay. I suppose now we have to do it, don't we? Yes, you do. Get out your calculator. Yes. Well, I could do it longhand, but we're doing a live video right now, so it's a little hard. Okay. 1 hour and 51 minutes, which is 131. Wait a minute. 60 plus 51, 131. 131 minutes. Let's see. Whatever. It's something. That's what happens when you have some Guinness. GSE paper for 16-year-olds with calculator. Work out a quarter of 24. What? Work out 1/4 of 24 kilograms. That would be 6 kilograms. Write down 8,051. Well, a little bit of difference there. You might have to scratch out a couple of little marks here on your pencil, but holy shit. A quarter of 24 kilograms? Divide by 4. That's pretty, is it 6? Yeah, 6. Let's see. It's almost 1 and 7/8 hours times up that this. Well, it's this. Google.
I don't think we can doubt the decline in educational standards after 1970.
I actually have a book from my grandfather who, after World War II, went and took engineering shit. I still have it. And there was some stuff in there. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Trigonometry and kind of stuff like that. But it was, obviously you didn't have a calculator in 1945. Go on.
Coinciding with the disappearance of male teachers. But what about the efficiency and cost effectiveness of the school system since 1970? Before the disappearance of male teachers, one teacher would control the class. As the men disappeared, classes increasingly required 2 teachers, a woman and an assistant. And of course, the assistant was almost always a woman too. In 2013, one county alone in England reported that it had spent more than £100 million. That's about 125 million US dollars.
Yeah. So I
now 4 years on teaching assistants.
Oh no.
The annual teaching assistants in the UK is enormous. And of course, mainly paid by male taxpayers who pay almost 3/4 of income tax. The bottom line, it takes 2 women to educate children less well than 1 man can, and it costs a lot more money. Men are discriminated against in the higher education sector by a scheme called Athena Swan, which forces universities to positively discriminate on behalf of women who are usually less qualified than the best available men for academic positions. I refer you to William Collins's website,
I'm calculating.
The Illustrated Empathy Gap, and again his book, The Empathy Gap, for more details on this deplorable scheme. I'll say a few words about medicine. In the 1970s, Vernon Coleman, the first TV doctor in the UK, revealed that medical schools were preferencing women over men for medical degree courses. That has continued to this day, and for years, about 2/3 of medical students have been women. As Coleman predicted, the women are far more likely than the men not to practice medicine after graduating, often because they've bagged a fellow student as a future husband.
Yes, the MRS degree. I got 480 miles, but Google says 412. So my math must be wrong.
And to work part-time rather than full-time, even if they have no children. Women avoid demanding specialisms such as A&E and working on social hours, preferring instead to become GPs in particular. Everything that Coleman predicted has come to pass. And the National Health Service is today even more of a disaster than you'd expect of a 75-year-old
I know what I did.
state-owned virtual monopoly.
Oh, you stupid
It's been
fuck.
estimated
What are you
that
doing?
female medical graduates will work on average half the hours over their careers compared to their male colleagues. Put another way, 2 women need to be trained as doctors to work the same hours over a career as 1 man. The inevitable consequences include a huge waste of taxpayers' money on funding the expensive training of women doctors, and a fall in doctor numbers, which has led to the need to employ huge numbers of doctors.
I didn't realize if you have 1 Guinness, you lose your freaking brain. Hello, SCE. How are you? Master Wrench is here. Michelle Guevara from Paris, France. The Godfather. What use of it is have been forgotten for years. I know. What are you saying? Are you giving me a hard time? That's terrible. How could you? I waited until like 10:30 to have a beer. My God. You people, you expect so much.
Trained overseas, usually from poor countries which can ill afford to lose them, such as India and Pakistan. Few final words on medicine. You may or may not be aware that Florence Nightingale, that great British heroine of nursing, implemented measures in our hospital during the Crimean War.
Yes.
Which led directly to the otherwise avoided deaths of thousands of injured British soldiers. I'll put a link in the low bar to a short video on the matter. So what did the British government decide to call the huge new temporary critical care hospitals for COVID-19 sufferers? Nightingale hospitals. This leads me to the world of politics. A number of British political parties, most notably the Labour Party, have long used all-women shortlists for selecting parliamentary candidates.
Yep.
More than half the Labour MPs today are women, yet curiously the party does not intend to introduce all-men shortlists. Vince Cable stated proudly to an inquiry that the party he led at the time, the Liberal Democrats, used all-women shortlists in winnable seats. I can only assume that for unwinnable seats, the party used all-men shortlists. When these women were duly and predictably elected, because male turkeys do a vote for Christmas, and very reliably, they always turn out to be hopeless MPs with no grasp of just how woeful they are.
Do you think MPs really give a shit about the people, Mike? Or Congress, or anyone? I don't think so. I think they care about themselves, but what do I know?
This brings me inevitably to the Labour MP, Jess Phillips.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God, not Jess. Oh, God. She's just awful.
A few months after her election as an MP in 2015, she was sitting as a member of the Backbench Business Committee. Among other things, the committee allocates time for debates. The Conservative MP, Philip Davis, who spoke at 2 of the previous ICMIs and is speaking at this one, was seeking time for a debate on men's issues, the first such debate in commemoration of International Men's Day. A video of the exchanges between Jess Phillips and Philip Davis is on the YouTube channel of the political party Justice for Men and Boys.
Yep.
Final exchange.
Oh, God.
I don't care about men's issues. It's that I'm hoping for parity myself.
Hear, hear.
I absolutely care about men's issues. And when I've got parity, and when women in these buildings have parity, you can have your debate.
You've had parity for a long time, Jess. So what's your fucking point? Yeah. Oh, you want parity in the FTSE 500? How about just equal opportunity and shut the fuck up? No. Oh,
Mr. Chairman, if I can just make the point,
And that will take an awfully long time.
I'm not requesting a debate on representation within the House of Commons. I'm asking for debates on men's issues, and the list of issues I gave earlier, I would like to think people can recognise are genuine issues and actually are very, very rarely debated in the House of Commons. Very rarely debated in the House of Commons.
Look at this intern back here. It's like, this is the kind of shit I'm going to get into. Oh, my God.
Right. Well, thank you very much for it. Thank you very much indeed.
Jess Phillips's intervention led to such strong objections that Philip Davis was later permitted to host the debate, and he's hosted the debates every year since then, covering many men's issues, including domestic abuse, suicide, and MGM.
Yep. I don't know if Mike mentioned it yet, but Jess Phillips is a radical feminist. You probably figured that out just from the context. Eh?
In interviews, Jess Phillips has frequently admitted to having a major anxiety disorder, to the extent that when her sons are late home from school, she assumes they are dead. Yet after the Labour Party, with its leader Jeremy Corbyn, a communist, lost the 2019 general election, Phillips made a bid to become the party leader and in due course a potential prime minister. Resilience is surely an important quality in a prime minister. Because of Phillips's sheer stupidity, narcissism, lack of resilience and self-knowledge, the UK faced the prospect of a radical feminist prime minister with a major anxiety disorder, making such decisions as whether to go to war or employ nuclear weapons.
Yeah. Yeah, that probably wouldn't have been such a good idea. Good thing you pulled through. Oh, yeah.
Good grief. Excuse me a moment.
You got the red phone now.
Hello, anti-feminist hotline.
Yes.
Thank you. You have photographs of Harriet Harman MP and Jess Phillips MP holding hands in Parliament Square, looking up at the Millicent Fawcett statue. Yes, please do email the images to me. We can certainly use them. I'm sorry, but I'm currently in the middle of recording a conference video with the international film director Tom Caulfield. So his time is very expensive, as you can imagine.
Yes.
So if you could call back in an hour, that would be great. I'll take your call then. Thank you very much. Sorry about that.
Kind of half surprised the fucking phone didn't just blow up.
I turn now to other fields of employment.
Okay.
Over many years, countless men's careers have been crippled as less qualified women have been promoted ahead of them.
Okay.
Since 2011, FTSE 100 companies have been appointing poorly qualified women to their boards and other senior positions because of the government's threat of legislated gender quotas. And more recently, the FTSE 350 started down the same crazy path.
I wonder if Mike would have anything to say about this gender pay equality crap the UK government put out there. Oh, all these companies have to put out this stuff. And when you find out the real numbers, well, I'm sure Mike has something to say about that as well.
The broader issue of women on boards has interested me since before I launched Campaign for Merit in Business in 2012. And in November of that year, I gave evidence to a House of Commons inquiry. The video of that is on the Justice for Men and Boys website. The campaign was then, and remains to this day, the only campaign in the English-speaking world challenging initiatives to increase the proportion of women on corporate boards because of the overwhelming evidence from longitudinal studies of a causal link with corporate performance decline.
Yes, well...
the government is fully aware of that evidence, but continues to press major companies to appoint more women to their boards anyway.
Now, the feminists say, Mike, that the more women you have on their corporate board, the more money the company makes. You mean, sir, you mean they're lying? Who'd have guessed?
There's a great deal of material on these issues on the Campaign for Merit in Business website. I turn now to a couple of remarkable articles about CEOs. They're written by an American, August Levensky-Old, and published on the influential American website, avoiceformen.com in 2017.
Yes.
I should explain that the S&P 500 is the list of the 500 largest companies listed on stock exchanges in the United States.
Now tell me, Mike, how many CEOs do the companies in the S&P 500 have? Just curious.
The first article was titled, "Women Hate Being CEOs and They Suck at It." His key findings were these. In 2012, 20 S&P 500 companies had female CEOs. By 2017, 10 of the women were no longer CEOs. Okay. By 2017, all the female CEOs companies had fallen in the S&P rankings.
Well, you're evil. You're an evil man. You hate women.
His second article was also about male and female.
Let's not mention HP and what's her face who ran for president. It was the evil man, obviously, in the company that destroyed it. It wasn't her. It's not her fault.
CEOs of S&P 500 companies over 20.
What the hell was her name anyway? Remember that? She laid off 35,000 HP employees.
12, and showed how the rankings of their companies had changed over the space of 5 years.
Carly Fiorina, 35,000 employees laid off in about 2010. Now, I'm not saying it's because she's a woman, but I am saying it's because she made some really stupid decisions. Fortunately, HP has come back and they're solid at this point, but that was a bad time. Now, it's often said the buck stops at the top. So, Carly, you fucked up. You bought Compaq. Oops.
The article was titled, "Do Men Make Better CEOs Than Women?" His key findings were these. 15 of the 20 men still held their titles after 5 years, compared to just 10 of the 20 women. 8 of the 15 men improved the rankings of their company, compared to none of the...
RP, do you think I was not paying attention? Yes, I did, from 4 years ago. Carly did run, and there was the Meg Whitman was the other one that ran for something, I guess president or whatever. No, RP. I saw you 4 years ago, yes. You sent that earlier today. Thank you. Cool, man. After spinning off test equipment, the entire enterprise. Yes. Oh, cool, man. I'm quite familiar. That's probably why I mentioned it. Oh, I know. Test equipment went to Agilent. Consumer PCs, I don't know where they went. Maybe Dell, not sure. Enterprise compute, I think they still have that. And I think they bought some company. What the hell was it? But yeah, no, Agilent, well, we're talking shop here. But yeah. Oh, it's Keysight. Yeah. So it was Agilent, then Keysight, and then the PC business went somewhere else. I'm not sure. But I think HP still does enterprise servers. But I know because I tried to get a job there. They're doing virtual reality and that kind of shit too as well. No, I mean, they're stable at this point. But yeah, that was a fucking bad time. Thank you for checking in. Yeah, that was tough. And I could tell some more stories. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, sir. I've been on the campus. I know.
10 women. Final result. Men at plus 451 were 994 ranks higher than comparable women CEOs who scored minus 443. This wasn't just a slaughter of women CEOs. This was Bambi meets Godzilla. There's a link to those articles on the Campaign for Merit in Business website. This brings me to the issue of why women fail to compete successfully with men at the highest levels.
Because they're chicks.
Susan Pinker is a psychologist and newspaper columnist hailing from Canada and the sister of the Harvard psychology professor, Steven Pinker.
Okay, all right.
Her book, The Sexual Paradox, published in 2008, explained that the small number of women at the top of major organizations could be explained in large part by women's freely made choices. But of course, feminists rejected that explanation, sticking with their usual baseless conspiracy theories, invariably rooted in their myth that men are misogynistic and discriminate against men in the workplace and elsewhere. Now,
excuse me, SCE. Intel, what is it, Pentium? Oh, I've got stories to tell about that too, but I can't because you could reveal my hamster. You could pull my hamster mask off. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right, cool man. Yeah, I followed the whole thing. I was at some other company that may have competed with them. Shh. Don't say anything like that.
It would clearly be in everyone's interest to stop pretending that women are the equals of men when it comes to high-level competition. I turn to Dr. Victoria Bateman, a psychologist at the University of Swindon.
Another ginger. Oh my God.
For over a year, she's been leading a team of psychologists examining competition between the sexes. The design of the study is fascinating, I think. The team generated a list of traits and issues which they thought might impact on the competitive success of men and women in intersexual competition. They then phone interviewed at random a selection of 100 men and women, 50 of each in their 50s and 60s, of an age with good experience of how the world really works.
And I think they turned into, yes, sir, we do, cool man. I think they turned into HP Enterprise and HP something. They split the company. And I know this is boring for you guys, but this is fun because I'm talking to cool man. He knows this stuff. And I believe HP Enterprise is still in Colorado somewhere. I don't know about HP, the inkjet printers and all that shit. I think that was HP. And that was Whitman, I think, that did that, right? So HP went to the printers and they make great stuff. You know, I'm not putting down HP. I think they do a good job. But the enterprise stuff, I think, went to the servers and maybe laptops, and then they spun off Agilent. So anyway, no, it's fun. It's good. It's good to talk to you, man. I appreciate that. All right, go ahead.
They asked them which sex would tend to benefit competitively from each trait and issue. The paper is currently undergoing peer review prior to publication, which is expected early in 2021. We can only hope that feminists, with whom academia and academic journal publishers are riddled, do not prevent the publication of the paper. Dr. Bateman was kind enough to allow me to reveal the traits and issues the team examined in their study, and she initially asked me to present them only as bullet points before the paper's publication.
Okay, great. All right.
But she later sent me an email asking me to make a number of points before presenting the traits and issues in this talk. Number one, the relevance of individual traits and issues is dependent on the nature of the competition. Number two, the traits and issues range from biological to cultural and include human characteristics. Some might generally be regarded as positive qualities, others negative, while some qualities may be negative in everyday life, but helpful in terms of competitiveness. Next point, the extent to which individual traits and issues advantage one sex over the other varies widely. Sometimes it's considerable, sometimes it's nuanced. Where a trait or issue disadvantages one sex, the other sex is thereby advantaged. This is a zero-sum game. Many of the traits and issues become more relevant as the level of competition increases. And in the world of work, they become more relevant as organizational size increases. The traits and issues are more relevant for private sector organizations, where merit is judged more objectively because of the profit imperative than in the public sector. Her final point was that the issue...
I think I was watching some of those videos, SCE. Thank you for the tip. Appreciate that. All right, go on.
Issues are considered in the cultural context of the UK, and the findings of such studies may differ in other cultures. Dr. is of the view, however, that the findings are advantaged. Then we'll go on to the list of traits and issues where more of them believed women were advantaged.
We almost
Strap
lost
yourselves
it again,
in.
boys.
These lists may be longer than you'd expect.
We got to do bananas. We got to do bananas. Bananas. Go ahead. Oh, it's not letting me. All right. Did we lose it again? 2 times in one night? That would be interesting. Okay, let me go find this thing. Yeah, I know. Susan's coming in hot again, SCE. Hold on. Like I said, you got to do bananas. Go ahead. No, I think it's over. All I wanted to do was watch Mike drink that freaking entire bottle of vodka.
Which advantage women
there we go.
over men?
Might have been a copyrighted place. No, come on. Yeah.
But we don't admit it both publicly and privately. We must stop that pandering starting now.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to my talk. And remember, laughing at feminists and other ridiculous women is more than important. It's a civic duty.
I can't believe he chopped that out.
Markets.
Okay, markets are down. This is your captain speaking. Markets are down. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but it kind of dropped out. So, well, we have a couple more minutes now. Thumper, would you like to do a stream talking about cars and shit? Because I think that'd be fun. Maybe we'll do if you have time. Well, nothing else you're going to do in friggin' northern Michigan, except for all the snow. Would you like that? Yeah, must spank. Yeah. Good tagline at the end. Yeah. You like to spank your hamster? I don't know. Maybe, Saturday when you have time. Got another blizzard coming up. You're not doing anything else. We could talk about cars and valves and shit and push rods. And I think that'd be fun if you have time. Maybe Saturday, Sunday, whenever you want. Whenever you have time. Very flexible. Oh, you just need a microphone. Oh, you want to show some shit? Oh, that'd be even better. You want to work on some engines and show it on the video? Oh, yeah, that'd be great. I think you have the email, so shoot me an email. Because I think that would be awesome. I mean, men sitting around, got the NIPCO. You showed the NIPCO not that long ago. And it's like, here's my NIPCO. I got 2 of them, but the one works. Get some shit in there, get the smell of kerosene, and start wrenching on some cars. That would be freaking fine. Yeah, shoot me an email. Anyway, it is almost 11 o'clock. I think I am going to sign off for now. Susan whacked us twice. We must be doing something wrong according to the new TOS of who the fuck knows. I should be repenting, Godfather. Thank you. Yeah. Anyway, Thumper, send me a can't stream from the shop yet. Need to run a Cat 5. We could do audio though, right? Yeah. If you want to. We'll get some boys in here. We'll talk about car shit, oil, seals, fluids. It'll be great. Grumpy old man, you've been up since this morning drinking coffee and you're going to go for a swim again and you're going to tell me you haven't had a beer yet? Really? I'm a grumpy down there in Scotland, in Australia. The Matrix has you, Neo. Go for your swim and enjoy the summer heat and don't get killed by everything that walks on the ground in Australia. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that after happy crap. And appreciate it. Thanks for coming by. And we're going to talk to Thumper probably this weekend about working on cars and shit. It'll be fun. You guys take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.